Welcome to Day Drinking with Peter and Daniel. I'm Peter Rowe with the San Diego Union-Tribune and Pacific San Diego magazine.
And I'm Daniel Wheaton from the San Diego Union-Tribune and Pacific as well. And you're probably wondering, where are we? We're in the newest craft beer bar in downtown San Diego at Brew30. And of course, we had the co-founder in to discuss. Can you introduce yourself?
Jonathan Blos. I'm the Assistant Director of Food and Beverage here. One of many co-founders, shall we say. So, yeah. Welcome.
A proud parent.
That's right.
That's
right. Yes.
So
exactly.
we are here on the ground floor of the Manchester Grand Hyatt, and it's truly one of the grand hotels in town. We were walking around saying, "Man, this place is kind of over the top." And speaking of over the top, the beer list here. Why don't you walk us through it, because it's pretty extensive.
Yeah, we have essentially 30 taps that combine local distilleries. We have a couple barrel-aged cocktails, and then 28 beer taps. So it's all San Diego County except for one, which is from Tijuana. So really big focus on local, as we're in the capital of it, you know. Yeah. So we're super excited about the list, but a wide variety, but certainly all local driven.
And one thing that strikes me is the San Diegans have this problem where, like, if you know someone who comes and visits and they're into beer, where do you start? Because there are so many, more than 150 craft breweries in the city who make pretty, things that are unique and different from what people are used to. But what this list does is it targets kind of the basics range of beer. Yeah. So if you have someone who likes stouts, who likes porters, reds, you can find something for someone there, which is really great, because go to a craft beer bar in North Park, you're probably not going to find something for that stout guy. But here you can find a good San Diego version of something that really sets the stage to say, hey, this is amazing San Diego stuff, and it really sets the tone as to what they're going to have when they explore crazier, stranger things across San Diego.
That's a great point, because not only does this list hit some of the beers you'd expect, right? I mean, you get Sculpin here, you have beers from Stone here. These are beers you might expect, but there's also a beer here from Benchmark. There's a beer here from Mission. There's a beer from Thorn Street. So without having to, go out and seek out these small breweries, some of them in kind of obscure areas, you can kind of come in and sample a whole range.
Yeah, and that was our goal. At the end of the day, we wanted to make it a one-stop shop, and our first round of this, we really wanted to make sure we had the basics covered, right? So thank you for noticing that, because we really made an effort to cover the basics for everyone and kind of have almost at least one of each style. That was huge for us, and we've committed to making this a revolving list, which is something that in the past here, when we only had 12 taps, was a little more difficult, So now that we have 28, dedicated to beer, man, we're really excited to keep it as exciting for the guests.
Oh, it's great. Now, you have guests, obviously. You're one of the larger hotels in town. You're also strategically located down the street from the convention center.
Absolutely.
So you get people from all over the world here.
Yeah.
And what kind of feedback are you getting from out-of-towners, when they're drinking these beers? Are they loving them? Are they saying, wow, these are way too hoppy, which is a common reaction?
For sure.
How do they get along with San Diego beer?
Yeah, it's funny you bring that up, because a lot of our training was built around that, because having, a list of 12, we still had a pretty decent variety.
Right.
Now we blow that out of the water, so we really needed to make sure that our staff felt comfortable saying, oh, you like this type of beer? We've got this for you. You like this type of beer? We've got this for you. So a lot of our training was built on funneling guests into something that's relatable to what they want, but it's here, and we've had awesome feedback, especially about the glassware. We kind of touched on that earlier. But they come in here, see people taking pictures all the time and send it like, I'm trying this, I'm trying that. Overall, I would say, 99% of our guests are really excited. Yet, that 1% still wants their Bud Light, and we accommodate that too, but only on a bottle level. The drafts are just for San Diego. So.
Well, I was going to mention Bud Light or Bud Miller Coors, which is kind of where my father's at.
Yeah.
He was to come in here, and I would say, no, Dad, let's not do that.
Yeah.
What would you bring him to?
I'll tell you what. kind of going off that, the Barrio Lager has been a huge hit for us,
Okay.
you know.
All
So,
right.
and you got it right there,
I got it
right?
right
So
here, yeah.
we got the little, you know,
Yep.
people like to go kind of spin off of that, you know, a little bit of a Corona type feel, but you know, you get the little lime on there. But a lot of the blondes are typically, you know, we'll kind of, someone that is typically a Bud Light, Coors Light drinker, we'll kind of funnel them into the blondes because that's the easiest. The Perky Blonde from Resident has been doing really well for us, mainly for that reason.
Okay.
Very approachable, very light. Yeah, so that's, you know, the Pilsner's a little bit, but mostly if somebody's not totally sure of what they're going, the blondes and the lighter ones are the ones we normally funnel them to. And then we build them up from there. You know,
Okay.
so.
All right.
And all those beers you mentioned are beers that people who are hardcore and go for the case
Oh, yeah.
of can releases and bourbon barrel aged coconut nib stouts, after like 2 or 3 of those, they're like, I need a plenty for all.
You're
I
like
need a
feeding
Barrio
it, yeah,
Lager just
exactly.
to like, set
Lighten
the
it up.
palate a little
Lighten
bit.
it up a little
and
bit.
like
Yeah.
that says
Yeah.
something like these are the craft version of something that should be available nationwide.
Absolutely.
And we're finally getting to that point. It's
Yep.
really amazing.
For sure.
Right. So the Barrio Lager is from Thorn Street.
Yep.
And it's super light,
Yeah.
super easy to
Yeah,
drink.
12 IBUs. I mean,
Right.
that's
Yep.
all
my
day.
gosh.
Plenty
Yeah.
for all.
Yeah.
Also available in stores and on tap across San Diego.
Absolutely.
And then the two of you, actually, your pints are.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Cheers to that.
Yeah.
So we have this is Fresh for 30. So this is something actually I was lucky enough to join some of the staff and brew over at Stone in Liberty Station. So yeah, I mean it came out great. Citra hops, El Dorado mainly, a couple others involved as well, but 7.5%, 75 IBUs, really light. We wanted citrus, light, approachable. And something that you could have a couple of and feel good about it. So
Yeah, it's a very good like introduction to
Absolutely.
San Diego beer.
Yep.
It hits all the right hop notes. It's nice, bright. It's not too dank. It's not too resinous.
Yeah.
It's something that you could eat with, and everything would go down nicely.
Yeah.
And it's something that you want to give to someone before you
Exactly.
get them to something a little
give
more
them the hop
intense or
bomb.
crazy.
Yeah, for sure. And that's part of, to your point with our guests, we really wanted to, we collaborated with them and Chris Ketchum really helped us out with that, is that we wanted something that was approachable enough for the guests that when they say, oh, I like pale ales or I like IPAs, this is perfect. You're going to love it. And something that our staff could easily sell to the IPA fans and the people that are kind of thinking about it too.
Okay.
So,
So it does have that hop character that we're known
Yeah,
for.
for sure.
Right.
Definitely.
Again, I mean, your list is so diverse and represents kind of the range of San Diego beer. This beer is just about the same hue, maybe a little bit darker.
Yeah.
This is Devotion from Lost Abbey. This represents another side of San Diego beer. This is where we've been influenced by the Belgian beers. It's a Belgian-style blonde. Lost Abbey does nothing but Belgian-style
Yep.
beers. It's light. It's got some Belgian spicing to it, like coriander. It's got a little bit of funk. Yet it's very clean.
very clean finish.
So it's a great representation of that brewery.
Yeah, and they're great. I mean, we have a couple of theirs. We initially we really didn't want to have more than 2 beers from any brewery, but they were lucky enough to get 2 on the list because of just the quality and style, really, and obviously fits the glassware perfectly. So like that too.
Yeah, if it's one theme throughout this entire list, it's beers that have been around for a while and really established themselves.
Yeah.
These are the kind of beer when someone asks, okay, what's the best X style from San
Yep.
Diego? You're like, oh,
Exactly.
Benchmark Brown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the Modern Times,
Yeah.
the stout.
Yeah, one of my favorites.
Yeah, Black House, right? Yeah.
Yes, black.
Yeah, terrific stuff. So, it's a great addition to the San Diego beer scene. We're really happy that you're here.
Yeah, thanks for coming. We appreciate it. We're excited. We certainly are excited about it, and I think it shows in our list. And like I was saying earlier, I put this list up against anybody because we really, and it was tough. We had to drink all these beers, and it was exhausting.
It's across the Alabama.
Yeah, so
yeah.
we really tried to make it noticeable for those big names, and then also highlight some places that are up and coming, and really be about that change for them. So.
And your research must continue.
That's right.
Because
You
the
have to.
scene is always
We've dedicated to
changing.
it. So
yeah, there you are.
yeah, we're excited. so.
Right. So speaking of change, there's been a number of changes in the local beer scene recently, and
Yes.
it was kind of sad to hear, but I understood Green Flash laid off 10-15% of their employees, and they've
Yes.
kind of scaled back. It's an interesting case study in San Diego beer. You know, they made a decision some years back that they were going to be in all 50 states. And they did. You know, they were in all 50 states. They were selling in all 50, but they found that only about 18 of the states were really strong, and the others were just kind of sapping their energy and their revenue. And so they decided to scale back, focus on those 18 states, and consequently, they laid off a number of folks.
Yeah, it's something you're seeing industry-wide, in which the medium-sized breweries are really struggling. For the small little guy that only makes, 5 or 6 different beers and they sell out in a week, they're doing fine because, like, they're a neighborhood place. It doesn't. They don't need to have a massive scale. And obviously, for the Ballast Points of the world, they're doing fine as well. But it's like the bigger ones really struggle to kind of define who they are.
In that limbo,
Because, like, if you got someone from Montana or New Jersey and ask them, hey, what's Green Flash? They're not going to know.
Yeah.
It's a pretty oblique San Diego reference for
It
a
is.
name.
It is.
So, I mean, it's just the nature of the way things are going, and it seems that middle zone is the most dangerous for craft beer right now. Even though people are looking at the craft beer industry as an example of small businesses doing better than the bigger guys.
Right. It's a tricky line that they're walking, especially, as you say, these middle-ranked breweries. This is Le Freak, which is Green Flash's hybrid IPA/Belgian blonde. And it's a terrific beer. It's just really lovely, and it's unique. Well, no longer unique, but at the time they made it,
You're right, absolutely.
this was.
You're right,
I mean,
yes.
it was the first
Yeah.
hybrid of those two styles.
I remember seeing that out initially and thinking, "Well, what is that?"
That's
you know,
crazy,
and
right?
I felt like
Yeah.
every time I
Yeah.
saw it, I got it, and it was so different when it first came out. That was a great point, actually. I totally agree with you on that.
So, I don't know. So there was that happening. Ballast Point announced that they're moving into downtown Disney.
Yes.
And I was thinking about this. They should have their tasting room and kitchen up and running by fall. But they will be at least the third San Diego craft brewery to invade Anaheim. Modern Times has
Yes.
a fairly large tasting room in Anaheim.
Is that the one with the pool?
That sounds dangerous.
Sounds right.
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah. It is Modern Times.
Yeah, right.
After all, right?
There you go.
And then Carl Strauss has what they call
Yes,
the beer
that's right.
truck
Yep.
at California Adventure. And that's kind of a tribute to San Diego beer because Anaheim doesn't lack for really great breweries. Noble Ale Works, I think, is outstanding. Also nearby is
Monkish? Green
no,
Cheek?
the brewery is what I'm thinking.
brewery.
Well, but that's a good point. I like Monkish a lot too, but the brewery is killing it up there. So at any rate, for San Diego beers to be represented well in that area,
Honor,
it is an honor.
It's interesting. It's like we've talked numerous times about how San Diego is kind of imperializing the world with their beer.
Right.
And like
Yeah.
we're seeing some pushback finally. So some revolutions, I guess, if you want to say. Because you travel to different places, there are different palates, different sensibilities.
Yeah.
I'm from the Midwest. Beers tend to be heavier, maltier, more red trolley style things and crazy
Right.
IPAs. And I think that's one of the great things about craft beer. It represents where you're from. It's the culture in liquid form.
Well, and I think too, San Diego, initially I think was so IPA, and you're starting to see this shift into a lot of other styles really be represented properly, and initially with the IPAs, I think it was so, who can add more hops, who can dry hop, who can,
The IBU game.
Like
who
the
can,
IBU game.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah.
Who can get it?
I've got 150
Exactly.
IBUs.
It's
whoa,
it's like you
tongue
can't
can't
even.
taste that.
Yeah, you're like
Yeah.
your tongue just fell off, but it's
There's
fine.
so many IBUs, you'll die.
Exactly,
drinking this
yeah,
beer,
yeah.
right? So, yeah.
But I think now you're starting to see really niches of different styles, and like you said with Lost Hobby, not that they haven't been around any time, but now they're starting to get awareness and really get that backing that they really deserve, and that probably wasn't there, 10 years ago, 5 years ago even, but yeah, a lot of different styles. It's a great time for beer for sure.
Yeah, and certainly our version to the mean. After the haze craze of super cloudy northeastern style IPAs that have really pushed the bounds of what that style could be, you're seeing people yearning for more lagers and pilsners, traditional German styles that require a lot more technical knowledge and also fermentation
time.
Yeah. So obviously, for a brewery that's just opening up, it's churn IPAs, make money because you have to. But once you get to a certain point, you could be like, that one fermenter is going to be a lager.
Differentiate yourself a little bit.
Just hold off a little bit. And
I hear you.
People are saying this summer is going to be the summer of lagers. Hopefully, it'd be nice to mix things up.
Well, we've been hearing this summer will be the summer of lagers
for several summers.
For several summers, right? and
takes
we're waiting.
time, right?
We're waiting for that. It'll be great when it gets here.
Yeah.
But one of the things I noticed about your list is, I mean, speaking of the haze craze, I don't see New England style.
Yeah,
I do see a
got the unfiltered. That's our little
right?
dipping our toes in it there.
Yeah,
we're not going too out there.
I'm not being critical. I'm just mentioning.
No, for sure. And that's something that is definitely starting. There's a little trend there, and like I said, our first go around at this really was to try to cover as many different styles and at least have one representative of something similar. And to your point, that felt good as far as filling the niche on that one. So
that's probably, as you say, dipping people's toes into it. They
exactly.
Can just, what do you think?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a test kitchen, at this point. So like I said, we really committed to making this a revolving list, which is something we had to be pretty upfront with all of our reps and whatnot, because for so long we said, "Oh, don't worry about it. For 6 months, this will be the same." And when we had 12 taps, but now it's like, hey, we're really committed to making this a living, breathing list, and something that somebody comes in once a month or once every 2 months on business, they could say, "Oh, you didn't have that last time," So, and building that local following too is huge for us. So.
Yeah. And also, some of the beers inform some of your food. So why don't you talk a little bit about how you're implementing San Diego's diversity in your menu?
Yeah, I mean, our food, as you can see, some of those pretzel bites are some of my favorite. We use an IPA cheese dip, which is awesome. I even put that on fries. I'll admit that.
Cheddar sauce.
That's right. So
you
can't go wrong there. And then our barbecue sauce that we use as well uses the Julian hard cider. So we really try to incorporate the beer and what we have on tap as much as possible. But other than that, our food in general really tried to be, we're burger forward here. Really try to have some other options too. We have the Impossible Burger, which is another new thing that you've probably seen a little bit around. I know Stone's really pressing that over at their place, but you can get our beer there with their Impossible Burger, So. But yeah, there's a lot of options on here. I mean, we have everything from ahi tuna burger to chicken to pork belly, which is one of my favorites. So it's really again, you could get any kind of burger you want with any kind of beer you want. So at that point, it's like, why not swing over and give it a whirl? So, and some great salads too. Actually, I typically kind of go the burger route, but our cowboy salad is one of my favorites. And Matt, my counterpart, gets the grain salad a lot, and they sometimes get it with tuna. So it's a good. It's a menu that is not super extensive, but again, there's a lot going on here as far as burger lovers, and the salads, you can build them into a lot of different things. As far as adding steak or tuna or whatever you like. So yeah.
And that's one of the benefits of your list. It's easy to pair all of these very focused two-style beers to certain kinds of food. It's the strange experimental breweries with weird ingredients.
You're like,
it's like, how am I going to pair this hazy IPA with kaffir lime and cardamom and anything at all? It's like,
hate it when that happens. Yeah. But no, to your point, and that was our goal, is not to overthink it initially, so maybe down the road a little bit.
And that's good, especially for the kind of people who are here, because a place needs to match their clientele.
Exactly.
And I think you've done an amazing job of that.
Thanks.
What people would want when they're visiting San Diego and need the 101 on beer. This is the 101 of San Diego beer in 30.
Yeah, exactly, right? So that's the goal.
I'm sure a lot of your guests don't have a lot of time to kind of get out and about.
Well,
they're kind of like going to their event, coming back to the hotel.
Exactly.
To the event, back to the hotel.
We definitely wanted to put some sessionable items on here, so in case they want to grab it at lunchtime too, that's fair as well. So, that was really a huge thing for us is having enough on here that makes them feel like they don't need to go out to, Beer Mar, as we call it, and stop at a couple different breweries. It's like, hey, try some. If you really like one or two, then we'll tell you how to get there,
Okay.
So that's kind of the goal. So.
And I think you're seeing this in downtown broadly, a more opening of let's have a diversity of craft beer.
Yeah.
Like they're realizing that consumers are willing to try new things as long as you sell it in a way that's like understandable.
Yeah.
And you're seeing that up and down. Not just the Gaslamp, Farina, Little Italy, and it's great.
No, for sure, absolutely. So.
Well, we're fortunate to be here with so many things going on, and it just so happens that this week we've got just a ton of anniversaries going on. It's incredible. Saturday is the 29th annual Karl Strauss celebration. This is the changing of the barrels, which is a unique event. You can come in, you can taste the 29th anniversary beer, which has spent a year aging in barrels, and you can taste next year's anniversary beer before they put it in barrels.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Plus, you can taste just about anything other, all their other beers too. So that's one event Saturday. Also on Saturday is the 5th anniversary celebration at Rip Current, both at their tasting room in North Park and at the brewery in San Marcos. We also have the 2nd anniversary of Pure Project, also on Saturday.
This is a big
Oh my
weekend,
God.
huh?
Then we got the 1st anniversary of Jacked Up. That was the brewery I forgot.
Okay.
Jacked Up in Escondido.
Okay, cool.
And also Bridget as well.
Jeez, you guys are going to need a DD
as
this
well.
weekend. Jeez, oh man.
And then we've got the 9th anniversary of Blind Lady. Blind Lady Ale House,
cool.
in
Nice.
Normal Heights. So it's like around the county.
Got a full calendar for this weekend.
If you like to celebrate anniversaries,
There you
it's a
go.
good weekend.
There you go.
Yeah.
And also for all the beer lovers out there, Pliny the Younger is coming soon. We don't know exactly when. It's still fermenting. We'll hear from Vinny soon. But Russian River's famous triple IPA will be down sometime, maybe the 1st or 2nd week in February, typically at places like Hamilton's, Coronado, Blind Lady, Live Wire, among others. So just keep your eyes and ears open in social media, and you can grab yourself a pint of
Track that down.
Of the
Track
beer
it
that
down.
you'll line up
Track
at
it
8 o'clock in the
down.
morning for.
That's right.
I tell you, I mean, Daniel, you're so right on this that this is a beer that tends to get announced on social media.
Yeah.
So if you're not on social
It's
media,
it's definitely a thing.
maybe you'll be driving down, through North Park.
what
You
the
see
heck's
this
going on
line,
over there?
right?
Why is
Oh
it
no,
Coronado
yeah.
at 9:30 in the
Yeah.
morning?
Yeah,
It's
because
prime time.
everyone got the announcement at 6 that morning and they lined up. So,
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
No. So we'll be watching for that. What else have you got going this weekend?
That's pretty much it. I mean, it's carving up for Pliny season, I guess.
There you go. Cool.
And Jonathan, how about you? I mean, you work here at the hotel, but I imagine you're out and about.
Yeah,
What
I
do
got
you-
a tough gig. I got to fly to Minnesota to help with the Super Bowl.
Oh my
True story.
gosh, wow.
So I will be there freezing for the next about 10 days, but it'll be
Right.
worth it. So.
But maybe you'll get some beer from Surly.
Yeah,
and some of the
yeah.
other
I'll
great
have to.
Minnesota
I'll get out.
breweries.
I'll get out and I'll report back. So.
All right, yeah, maybe. Well, of course, this is San Diego centric, so let's leave it at that.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Cool.
those interlopers.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Are you
I'll
rooting
just spread.
for anyone?
Oh, jeez. I'm from Pittsburgh, so this is like my night. This is my nightmare. This is officially my nightmare. Other side of the state versus the other team that doesn't lose, so it hurts. But I'm getting over it.
Well, the Steelers have a great
At least you have
history.
30 amazing beers.
Yeah, exactly. I can come
Yeah.
back to these and I'll be fine. So, but yeah, thanks guys.
Sure.
Yeah,
Anything else we need to talk about?
I think that's pretty much it. It's as always, it's a beer week in San Diego.
That's right.
Oh, great beer week. Yeah. So, hey,
Yeah, guys. Cheers.
cheers.
Absolutely.
You know.